Welcome to the section on Bootstrap. What we're going to do in these next number of lectures is create this web page. Looks very similar to the previous one that we did. Designed that way, to be honest, so that we can have some similarity. We can see the way things fit together, how similar they are. But this is written or using Bootstrap, so we can view it on a mobile. It's mobile responsive. We have some nice menu icons up there. Have an input field. It's very familiar in the way it feels, very similar to the previous one. So, as I say, this is a just do it. Take a look at the lectures. Have a go at the assignment at the end, which is just to reproduce this page, and have a play around with Bootstrap. It's really easy to use. Now, one thing I will say is I don't cover every single thing that's available in Bootstrap. I just kind of show you how to put together this page, just to give you a flavour of how easy it is. Then once you've want to know more, go and have a search on the web. W3 School has a great bit on Bootstrap. Get bootstrap.com. Place like that. I've got lots and lots of information on Bootstrap. But going through this will get you there to creating your page, and then after that it's just all the extra tweaks you can do. So before we begin doing any work using Bootstrap, what we're going to do, like when we started with HTML, we're going to download a plugin like the HTML templates one that gives us the template for Bootstrap. Although not overly complicated, there is a little bit more work involved in using Bootstrap, a little bit more work in the basic setup. So using the plugin really reduces the time, and this is the great thing about using brackets and us using brackets in this course. We don't have to spend the time writing the repetitive stuff. So very simply, like before, go to our plugin manager and then just go to the available when it comes up, and all we need to do is search for Bootstrap. Now what we want to do, we want to use this Bootstrap skeleton there. What I'm going to also do is install this Bootstrap 3 snippets, just because sometimes if we want to we can find some snippets, but we're not going to use that in this lecture. Okay, so what we have now is this plugin hit in the file called new Bootstrap 3 document. All you do is create a new file, put it in our directory, call this one bootstrap.html. okay, just so we know the differentiation. Right, so we have this blank file. We go to our file, new Bootstrap 3 document, and there it is. It's actually filled in the base document. If I was to go and view that, there we go. This is our basic Bootstrap skeleton. You can see that it even says it's created from the HTML skeleton, and we can see if I was to reduce this, see how that menu changed. This is for mobile apps when you've got a phone or a tablet and the menu is too small to fit on. We get this little icon here. So that is your very first mobile responsive web page using Bootstrap. So let's go and configure it a little bit more, shall we? Make it more your web page. Okay, so we have our web page. What this is using, by the way, just to point out a few things before we go any further, is first of all we can see here we have jQuery and we have Bootstrap. The beauty is we don't have to download anything to use Bootstrap. You must have jQuery available, you must have the Bootstrap, and you can go and download these and put them in the local directory with your web page, and then when you upload it to your server, have those there. But as you can see, we can actually load them from the web. This could potentially means it runs a tiny little bit slower, and I say potentially. There's no real kind of major difference. In fact, I think using this way is much better. We are specifically using a particular version, as you can see here. There are other ways of accessing it, again the latest version. However, if you're building a web page based on a particular version of jQuery or Bootstrap, then we need to specify that. And sometimes downloading it and keeping it local to your web page is better, because you know it's not going to change. The other few things to note before we go any further is just the items that have all these different class names. Within Bootstrap, we are using their own CSS files. You could in theory use your own and do a little bit of a change here and there. You know, there's no reason why you can't load in your own theme, CSS, like we did with the previous web page. But in this case, they are actually pre-filled out, and you're using the ones that come with it. There's a few things we can enter as we do. So I'm the author, for example. We can change the title here to be like the previous web page, for example. Just do it. And a few other things you can enter. You can go and search out some of these things yourself. Viewport's a good one that we didn't use. It's really specifying the viewable content of your web page. We could have used it in the previous web page. We don't need to. Here it's a good thing to have, because obviously, because we're making it a mobile responsive website, we need to specify that the viewport is the device width. So the device width would be the device width of a PC monitor that I'm looking at now, a mobile phone, or a tablet. You know, this is the saying, use the entire displayable width of that item. There are some other things here. These class names. These class names are very specific to the Bootstrap. They specify to the Bootstrap library a particular meaning, so that when we have the reduction in size, it knows what to do. It's reactive to these names. So these names are required, and you don't change them because they are specific. For example, navbar header, very specific. This one actually has two classes here. You can see collapse and navbar collapse. That's because obviously we have the collapse for the website, but also the navbar collapse when we're doing a reduction of this in size. Same here, nav and navbar. So we're not going to change any of those. The only other one I am going to change, and this is purely because I like to use this specific one, but inside this container here, just within this one here, we're going to use, or we're going to add a new div class. Notice it's doing the indentation now, which it didn't do with from the skeleton. I'm not quite sure why the skeleton doesn't do that, but maybe it's just not set to. And I'm going to make this one called Jumbotron. Now, if you're wondering what that is, then please do go and check it out. There's a slash div in there. What it is kind of a pre-definition, pre-styling. There are a number of different styles you can use within Bootstrap. Jumbotron is just the one we're going to use here, and it's one I like using, but go and check it out. If you do a Google search on Jumbotron, you're certain to find all the other ones that are available. So that's all the change we're going to make in this lecture. what we're going to do in the next one is start adding more content.